Climate change is an urgent global problem that's seriously harming many parts of our planet. The main cause of it is human activity, especially the release of greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. But what can we do to address this pressing issue? How can we inspire change and take on action on an individual and collective level? Be sure to buckle up as we dive deep inside to learn more about the damages brought on by climate change. Extreme weather events. Global climate change-related extreme weather occurrences has moderate to severe negative effects. Events like heat waves, hurricanes, droughts, and torrential rainstorms are among them. The occurrence and severity of heat waves, which are marked by protracted periods of high temperatures, are increasing. They particularly harm vulnerable groups by causing heat-related illnesses and an elevated risk of heat-related mortality. Warmer ocean temperatures are causing hurricanes to become more intense. They affect populations and coastal areas by causing destructive storm surges, floods, and infrastructure destruction. The severity of drought is rising as a result of altered precipitation patterns. They increase the likelihood of wildfires, lower agricultural production, and cause water shortages. Extreme weather occurrences are becoming more frequent all across the world as a result of climate change. Heat waves, hurricanes, dry spells, and torrential downpours have all become more common and powerful, with disastrous results. Heat waves cause extended periods of high temperatures, endangering populations that are already at risk and causing diseases and deaths from heat-related causes. Stronger storms are fueled by warmer ocean temperatures, which could also lead to severe storm surges, flooding, and the damage to coastal infrastructure. A change in precipitation patterns exacerbates drought, raising the risk of wildfires, reducing agricultural productivity, and causing water shortages. The tremendous threat that these extreme weather occurrences pose to infrastructure, agriculture, human life, and natural ecosystems highlights the urgent need to address climate change and lessen its effects. Rising sea levels and coastal vulnerability. Extreme weather events brought on by global climate change have a moderate to serious negative impact. There are several of them, including heat waves, hurricanes, droughts, and heavy rainstorms. Heat waves, which are characterized by extended periods of high temperatures, are happening more frequently and with more ferocity. They notably impact vulnerable communities by increasing the risk of heat-related diseases and deaths. Hurricane intensity is increasing as ocean temperatures rise. By creating damaging storm surges, floods, and infrastructure devastation, they have an impact on coastal communities and populations. Changes in precipitation patterns are increasing the severity of droughts. Wildfire occurrence increases, agricultural output decreases, and water shortages result. Glaciers and ice caps melt due to an increase in global temperatures, which raises sea levels. The coastal areas, low-lying islands, and delta regions are all at serious risk from this occurrence. Rising sea levels put drinking water supplies and agricultural lands at risk by causing coastal erosion, increasing floods during storms, and saltwater intrusion. Roads, structures, and other facilities along the coast are also made more vulnerable. Ecosystem disruption and biodiversity loss. Ecosystems and biodiversity are significantly impacted by climate change. It throws off sensitive ecological balances, leading to an extinction of species, the loss of habitat, and changes in the geographic distribution of species. When it comes to the timing of biological occurrences like flowering, migration, and hibernation, temperature and precipitation changes negatively impact food webs and ecological interactions. Food security and way of life are at risk due to these disruptions, which have an impact on agriculture, fisheries, and the availability of natural resources. Numerous plant and animal species are severely threatened by climate change. Species may find it difficult to adjust to changing conditions in their habitats or to relocate as soon as they want to. Population reduction and, in some situations, extinction can come as a result of this. Among the species that face serious risks are coral reefs, polar bears, and numerous bird species. The timing and paths of migration for fish, birds, and other species that depend on seasonal changes can be affected by climate change. For example, warmer winters may alter the timing of blossoming plants, reducing the amount of food that's available to migratory birds. Ecosystems may have cascade consequences from such perturbations. Agricultural impacts and food security. Climate change will provide considerable difficulties for the world's food production because agriculture is very susceptible to climate change. Crop yields, animal output, and the spread of diseases and pests are all impacted by changes in temperature, precipitation patterns, and the frequency of extreme weather events. Crop yield is decreased by heat waves and droughts, while irrigation issues are brought on by changed rainfall patterns and water stress. These effects jeopardize the availability of food, particularly in poor areas where agriculture serves as a main means of subsistence. Agriculture and the security of the world's food supply are significantly hampered by climate change. Rising temperatures, changed precipitation patterns, and a rise in the frequency of extreme weather events all hinder crop development, lower yields, and degrade the quality of agricultural output. Crops are now at more risk from evolving pest and disease dynamics, and output is hampered by water constraints and irrigation issues. Additionally, these are dangers to livestock and fisheries as heat stress reduces productivity and shifting marine habitats deplete fish stocks. These problems are made worse by disruptions in the food supply chains, which results in fluctuating prices, scarcities, and restricted access to nutritious food. Resilient agricultural methods, improved infrastructure, research and development initiatives, early warning systems, support for smaller farmers, greenhouse gas reduction, and sustainable land management techniques are essential to addressing these concerns. We can boost global food security and improve agricultural resilience in the face of climate change by putting these approaches into practice. Health consequences. Wide-ranging health effects of climate change have an effect on many facets of human well-being. Rising temperatures are a factor of heat-related disorders, including heat stroke and dehydration, which are especially dangerous for vulnerable groups like the elderly and people with underlying medical issues. Changes in precipitation patterns and greater flooding can result in the contamination of water sources, the spread of waterborne infections, and an increase in the risk of diarrheal diseases. As temperatures rise and the habitat for disease-carrying mosquitoes improves, the global distribution of vector-borne illnesses, including malaria, dengue fever, and Zika virus, is growing. Hurricanes and wildfires are examples of climate-related natural disasters that can result in damage, displacement, and mental health problems like anxiety and post-traumatic stress disorders. In addition, food security is jeopardized because agricultural yields are affected by climate change, which increases the risk of hunger and foodborne infections. Adaptation plans, disaster readiness, the promotion of resilient healthcare systems, and mitigation efforts to reduce greenhouse gas emissions are just a few of the steps that must be taken in order to address climate change in order to protect public health. Economic costs. Throughout many industries, climate change has had a significant financial impact. Significant infrastructure damage, including damage to roads, buildings, and utilities, is caused by the frequency and severity of extreme weather occurrences. Recovery and reconstruction expenses after a disaster are high, which frequently puts a burden on public finances and slows economic expansion. Drought, flooding, and heat wave-related agricultural losses lower crop yields and livestock productivity, which raises food costs and causes revenue instability for farmers. The infrastructure and communities along the shore are at risk from rising sea levels, which calls for expensive relocation and adaptation measures. Climate change's effects on health put additional strain on healthcare systems, place a financial burden on people and societies, and raise the burden of sickness and healthcare costs. Businesses may also experience supply chain interruptions and an increase in insurance costs as a result of climate-related hazards. These financial costs can be reduced by moving to a low-carbon economy and investing in climate resilience, which will also open up new possibilities for sustainable growth and innovation. Various industries and ecosystems are already feeling the negative effects of climate change in different parts of the world. To reduce emissions of greenhouse gases, prepare for a changing climate, and improve resilience, immediate action is required. The reduction of carbon emissions, to switch to sustainable energy systems, and implementation of adaptation plans, and the promotion of sustainable practices all require cooperation between governments, corporations, communities, and people. To address the continued harm brought on by climate change and ensure a sustainable future for future generations, it's crucial to invest in research and innovation, help vulnerable people, and promote international collaboration. Governments, corporations, communities, and individuals must all work together to take prompt action in order to address these pressing global issues. It's up to each and every one of us to serve as a change agent, promote sustainable behaviors, and aid in the creation and application of original solutions. We can create a sustainable future for future generations if we work together. What do you think about the damage? Comment below your thoughts on this, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please enable the notification bell while you're there to ensure that you receive all our upcoming uploads. Click on the link on your screen if you want to do your part and help the world to learn to deal with climate change with our next video.